smash that like button. Make sure you guys hit that bell icon twice. Go over to Facebook and make sure you follow Blacklight Revelations, Reality Check Virtual Radio, Blacklight Revelations, C19 Report, and join the groups. All right. And I will be live again in about 20 minutes on Blacklight Revelations news, reviews, and reactions. Here's another video about the boosters. All right. But this is talking about the COVID-19 shot from Moderna and Pfizer. OK. CDC officials have said protection from a booster shot starts to decrease around 4 months. So it looks like what they're trying to suggest is they want you to get a booster every 4 months.
On the COVID front tonight, relaxed restrictions and waning immunity have been wondering if it's time for a fourth COVID shot. Vaccine makers Moderna and Pfizer are both preparing to roll out the next dose. New Jersey correspondent Trish Hartman is live at a CVS pharmacy in Runnymede with that story tonight. Trish.
Well, Rick, right now, only certain groups of immunocompromised people can get 4 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. But this week, 2 major vaccine makers, both Pfizer and Moderna, asked the FDA to authorize a second COVID-19 booster shot to help waning immunity.
I definitely put my trust in getting additional boosters as opposed to getting infected with COVID.
This week, Pfizer asked the FDA for authorization of a second booster shot for senior citizens. Yesterday, Moderna asked for the same authorization of a second booster for all adults.
Antibody levels wane over time, so it's giving folks a little boost of antibody, and the hope was that it would help block infection.
Immunology expert Amanda Norvell from the College of New Jersey says new studies out of Israel suggest that a fourth dose will help boost immunity, and in cases where it doesn't block infection,
that's what it's looking like, Fantizzi.
Protect against severe illness. And despite various booster recommendations as the virus mutates, these boosters are not variant specific, but it's something that could come down the road.
In the future, maybe you could have a variant that did cause more severe disease. So boosters that are targeted for variants that are circulating is something that we're going to be looking into.
Here's a look at adult vaccination rates for our area, according to current CDC estimates. And while the CDC recommends getting a booster months later, you can still be considered fully vaccinated without a booster. We met Sherry Felice, who got 1 dose of Johnson & Johnson. But with infections going down, she's holding off on getting boosted.
I kind of am taking a wait and see attitude about it. So if I felt like I wasn't safe,
more dangerous and easily spread.
Research getting a booster.
Now, CDC officials have said that protection from a booster shot starts to decrease around 4 months after you receive that vaccination.
So, yeah, that's pretty consistent with what they said in the other article. They're saying that it's a 4-month time span of the time you get the booster to when the effectiveness of it starts to decrease. Okay.
Now, the next step for second boosters, the FDA will look at data from Pfizer and Moderna and will determine if a fourth shot is necessary.
What up with it, AJ? What's good with you, bro?
Reporting live in Runnymede, New Jersey, Trish Hartman, Channel 6, Action News.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. I think this is one of the videos that I had for
other young life cuts.
I think this is one of the videos that I had.
USAA is made for the
for C19. For news, reviews, and reactions. So let's check this out real quick. This is actually very sad. And it's just annoying that like there's just more and more and more and more of these kinds of stories just coming out every day. Just more and more and more of them. Like it don't stop. You know what I'm saying? So let's check this out. Hold on.
Senseless violence. Authorities in Trenton are searching for a gunman after a 9-year-old girl was shot and killed. Saturday night, I'm Walter Perez. The big story.
Now, how the hell a 9-year-old girl get shot and killed? No, wow. If Fantizzy, can you send that to me, bro? How the hell does a 9-year-old girl get shot and killed, y'all?
Tonight, I'm Walter Perez. The big story on Action News is gunfire, ending with the death of a little girl. Tonight, family and friends gathered to honor her memory. Action News reporter Katie Catro joins us live outside Trenton Police Headquarters with details. Katie.
Walter, police say they are currently interviewing witnesses. In the meantime, we did speak with friends and family, including that little girl's mother. She was too distraught to go on camera, but she is asking for the community's support and help to find whoever's responsible for this.
It's really upsetting.
Family and friends gathered in Trenton tonight to remember Sequoia Bacon Jones. Police say the 9-year-old was fatally shot Friday night.
And she loves to skate. You know, just a typical normal kid. And this is sad that we have to put a sheet up for her.
Family friend Jessica Dexter says Bacon Jones was a vibrant young girl who had her whole life ahead of her.
I felt like I lost the kid myself. Even though she wasn't my kid, she was still my kid. You know, I just seen her Thursday.
Police say the 9-year-old was struck by a bullet at Kingsbury Square when a fight broke out among a large group around 7:30 last night. Trenton's mayor says the young girl was outside in a common area when she was struck. He does not believe she was the intended target.
We won't stop until that person is caught. This was a horrific incident, cutting down an innocent life.
Now, instead of planning for her future, her family is planning her funeral.
Let your kids know about fights breaking out. Go the other way. Get to safety. Don't stand around to watch and see what's happening.
How about like people in the neighborhoods act like normal human beings? And let's not expect a kid to know how to fucking survive a war zone. How about that? Like, let's try that. It shouldn't be common knowledge for a kid to know how to dodge a bullet or to identify when there's adults engaging in degeneracy. How about adults act like adults? And if you can't act like adults, how about do your stupid ass shit when there's no kids around and you know you're not going to kill anybody except for yourself? How about that? Like, I don't understand why that's so difficult. I don't understand why, like, there's so many kids. Appreciate it, bro. I don't understand why there's so many kids that end up dying as a result of these idiots.
You know, put yourself safe. And I encourage every parent, cousin, aunt, uncle, father, brother, mother, hug your kids tonight. Hug your kids. Because I have a friend that can't hug her daughter today.
And the mayor says police are working around the clock to find who's responsible, along with the Mercer County Homicide Unit. If you have any information, authorities want to hear from you.
Wow. This week, Pfizer asked the FDA for authorization of a second C-19 booster shot for senior citizens to fight waning immunity. All right, so again, this is nothing more than another one of those transcript news reports. They read this. Now, everybody was talking about the immunity, right? What's going on with immunity? Well, here's a report that says doctors are hopeful that immunity is strong enough to deter the new Omicron variant from spreading. Now, this is interesting, right? Because they haven't really talked about immunity at all throughout the entire pandemic. What up, Brain King? Yeah, it is wild. It's crazy out here, bro. You're right. Yeah, that's yeah, facts, Val. Ain't no jobs, and you can tell who's adult and who the children are. That's just So here, this is an article from March 22nd. All right, so this is fairly new. So you guys see how behind I am. This is why I stopped producing videos. This is why one of the reasons why I started live streaming, because I can't keep up. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep up with this.
Well, Ashley, online purchase go wrong? With Ford Blue Advantage, not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Visit Ford Blue Advantage today.
The BA2 variant first showed up here in late January, and as of last week, it accounted for 23% of all new COVID cases nationwide. But doctors say there's no reason for the general public to be concerned yet. The BA2 subvariant of Omicron is here, now detected across the country.
It looks a lot like BA1. It has the same level of disease severity as BA1.
Now, here's my question. Did you guys hear about BA1 at all? If you guys heard about BA1, type in a 1. If you didn't, type in a 2. And if you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys smash the like button and hit the bell.
It probably escapes vaccine immunity, the same as BA1, may transmit a little bit more efficiently.
The number of cases is increasing rapidly in some European countries, sparking concern for what's to come here in the U.S. But
Well, we already know what's to come here in the U.S. A bunch of Europeans. Like, this article here is from March 22nd. So, like, they knew about all of this. What do you guys think?
Well, Ashley, the BA2 variant first showed up here in late January, and as of last week, it accounted for 23% of all new COVID cases nationwide. But doctors say there's no reason for the general public to be concerned yet. The BA2 subvariant of Omicron is here, now detected across the country.
It looks a lot like BA1. It has the same level of disease severity as BA1 does. It probably escapes vaccine immunity, the same as BA1, may transmit a little bit more efficiently.
The number of cases is increasing rapidly.
It seems like it. Doesn't it seem like they skipped telling us about BA1? I don't recall hearing much about BA1. So I'm assuming that BA1 is just the one that they call Omicron, but now they're referring to it as BA1. I'm assuming that the one that we know as Omicron is BA1.
Rapidly in some European countries, sparking concern for what's to come here in the U.S. But Dr. Andy Pekosh with the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health says its emergence coincided with many countries dropping their COVID protocols.
Is it the lack of public health interventions that's leading to this slight rise in cases, or is it really BA2? And that's what makes it difficult then to predict what's going to happen here in the U.S.
The cases of BA2 are increasing here in the United States, but it's not causing the total number of cases to go up. Dr. Pekosh says if you had the original Omicron strain or are vaccinated and boosted, you should be protected against this new variant.
It's pretty much the same as BA1, which is why I'm optimistic that we're not going to see a huge surge in cases like we saw with BA1. There's just too much immunity now for this virus to be able to do the same amount of damage that BA1 did.
But he says health officials have learned with COVID to always be prepared. He thinks the test to treat program to get those infected antiviral medicine quickly will be another big part of keeping this variant from getting out of control. And he says there will be other variants in the future.
My real hope is that the general public won't need to pay very close attention to all the new variants coming through in the near future, because things like vaccination and antiviral treatments will really be in place to help soften the severe disease caused by COVID-19.
Dr. Pekosh says if you are at high risk for severe COVID disease, you need to continue doing those safety precautions you've been doing since the pandemic started. Reporting live downtown, Kim Dacey, WBAL TV 11 News.
So this is again a pretty short one here. This is just another oh, wait a minute. You know what? Wait a minute. They actually hold on a second. Hold on a second. They actually have something else in here. Hold on a second. They have something from Twitter on here that we can take a look at. All right. So I'm going to just read this. I think it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same, but let's just see. No, it's the same. Let's look at this though. They didn't show this in that little news clip. So let's check this out.
Dr. Kate, can you say some more about that?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you, County Executive. So as you noted, the BA2 subvariant of Omicron is increasing, not just in Maryland, in the United States as well, and worldwide. It is more transmissible than Omicron.
That's what's up, AJ. I'm glad you enjoyed, bro.
It has the same severity. I think what's really important to know is that we're in a much better place than we were about 3.5 months ago when we were talking about Omicron. Well, we had vaccines then, and we still do now, and we have the third highest rate of vaccination in the state. What we do have more of now that we didn't have then is we have much more at-home test availability. People have KN95 and surgical masks at home, and we've been distributing them. And we have oral treatments, which we just did not have at the start of the Omicron spike. So we are in a different landscape. We've obviously gone through the Omicron surge, and unfortunately, a lot of people were infected. But that provides some level of immunity, at least for the short term as well, in addition to our vaccinations. And so I think that our goal really is to make sure just people are prepared. There are things that we should constantly be doing, staying up to date on your vaccinations. And yes, if you have symptoms, get tested. And if you're test positive, either talk to your doctor or go to an urgent care center to see if there's treatment that's right for you. Because we can take care of this much better than we did with Omicron because we have additional tools now. I think the one additional recommendation is just if you're at high risk for severe disease, then you may want to consider masking in indoor public settings. But otherwise, sticking to our fundamentals with COVID, vaccination, testing, masking if you're at high risk, and then getting treated with oral medications if you're at high risk will allow us to weather this as well.
All right. So what do you guys think about that? I think that was a good little 1 minute speech there for people who don't really know what's going on as far as COVID goes. But for people like us, I think that we didn't really need all that. But what I find interesting is I caught this on the end here. COVID-19 infections are on the rise in the UK and in Europe. What could that mean for the US? Why don't you guys answer what you think about that? Now, again, they haven't said anything about this. All right. The last thing that I heard about C19 was that there was a rise of it going on in China. This is an article from March 15th of 2020. Let's check this out.
Well, case number.
So you got to let this article play, of course. Or this ad. Let that ad play. All right, let's see. Bring this back here. All right, let's check this out real quick.
While case numbers continue to drop, COVID wastewater numbers in Milwaukee are going in the opposite direction.
Derek Rose joins us now. Derek, how concerned are local health officials about this?
Concerned but not alarmed. Those are the words they used today. According to the CDC, the amount of coronavirus found in local sewer systems has jumped more than 1,000% in the last 2 weeks. But local,
that's kind of concerning. If you guys can, please make sure that you smash the like button. Also, if you guys have not shared the video out, please make sure that you guys share the video out. Okay, that definitely helps. That's kind of concerning, don't you think? All that damn COVID in the sewer. Did you guys even know that there was any kind of issue with COVID in the sewers? That's something new for me.
While case numbers continue to drop, COVID wastewater numbers in Milwaukee are going in the opposite direction.
Derek Rose joins us now. Derek, how concerned are local health officials about this?
Concerned but not alarmed. Those are the words they used today. According to the CDC, the amount of coronavirus found in local sewer systems has jumped more than 1,000% in the last 2 weeks. But local health officials say it's not time to recommend tighter COVID restrictions yet.
As of right now, it has been increasing over the last 2 weeks. Gives me pause. I'm asking people to be cautious, but I'm not yet alarmed.
At a face-to-face meeting with residents and health officials tonight, reporters pressed those health leaders about the wastewater numbers. Milwaukee Health Commissioner Kirsten Johnson explained the other factors they're considering and why they are not alarmed.
We watch very closely our testing numbers. So have we seen increased demand in testing? That's also an early indicator for us. We have not. Have we seen an increased demand in phone calls or people starting to call the health department asking questions about what to do if they test positive? We have not. Have we seen an increase in the number of outbreaks in childcare centers or schools? Again, we have not. So I think at this point, we're really learning from this wastewater data, but watching it closely.
Tonight's face-to-face meeting, you saw the mayor there in the background. The county executive was there as well. The first time they've been together for these meetings in a long time. They're not committing yet to having them in person regularly now. They say next week's meeting will probably be back in virtual.
Several factors that we heard go into their decision making. Derek, thank you.
All right, so here it says 2 weeks after the United Kingdom dropped its last remaining C-19 mitigation measure, a requirement that people who test positive for the virus isolate for 5 days, the country is seeing cases and hospitalizations climb once again. Uh-oh. So what does that tell you? You'd think that the United States would learn from what they're seeing happen overseas. You'd think. COVID-19 cases were up 48% in the UK last week compared with the week before. Hospitalizations were up 17% over the same time period. I don't know why. I don't know why we're ignoring this. I don't think that's really a good idea. That's it. That's what it's in Milwaukee. It seems like we've got some issues with the water. The country's daily case rate, about 55,000 a day, is still less than a third of the Omicron peak, but cases are rising fast as they were falling just 2 weeks earlier when the country removed pandemic-related restrictions. Now, what's changed? They've gotten a lot of Ukrainians in. That's what's changed. Look at stupid Nightbot. Back to his old tricks. The country's daily case rate, about 55,000 a day, is still less than a third of the Omicron peak, but the cases are rising as fast as they were falling just 2 weeks earlier when the country removed pandemic-related restrictions. Daily cases are also rising in more than half of the countries in the European Union. Uh-oh. Look, now that's something we need to pay attention to, because that's something that we deal with directly. What do you guys think about that? That's something right there that we deal with directly. They've jumped 48% in the Netherlands, and 20% in Germany over the past week. Now, there's been people that have gone to Germany from Ukraine, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. But daily cases in Germany had yet to drop below pre-Omicron levels, and the Netherlands hadn't seen cases fall as much as they did in the UK. The situation in Europe has the attention of the public health officials for two reasons. First, UK offers a preview of what may play out in the United States. Second, something unusual seems to be happening. In previous waves, increases in C-19 hospitalizations lagged behind jumps in cases by about 10 days to 2 weeks. Now, in the UK, cases and hospitalizations seem to be rising in tandem, something that has experts stumped. I mean, that means that there's some serious shit going on. Cases and hospitalizations rising at the same time means that not only are the cases increasing, but more powerful versions of what's causing the infection is increasing as well. So we're obviously keenly interested in what's going on with that. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases, told CNN. Fauci said he's spoken with his UK counterparts and they have pegged the rise to a combination of three factors. In order of contribution, Fauci said these are BA2 variant, which is more transmissible than the original Omicron, opening of society with people mingling more indoors without masks, waning immunity from vaccination or prior infection. China's new hold on, we're going to actually look at this too. We're going to look at what's going on in China. And this is from March 14th. Man, I find it extremely interesting. There was a time when all we heard about was COVID. There was a time when all we heard about was COVID. And now you don't hear too much, you know? We're not hearing very much. In a technical briefing Friday, the UK Health Security Agency said BA2 had an 80% higher relative growth rate than the original Omicron strain, though it does not seem more likely to lead to hospitalization. Well, my thing is, if that's the case, what's causing people to go to the hospital at a higher rate then? That's my question. What's causing all the hospitalizations then? Given that BA2 doesn't seem to be causing more severe disease, at least not in highly vaccinated British population, it's not clear why hospitalizations are ticking up. The issue with hospitalization is a little bit more puzzling because although the hospitalizations are going up, it is very clear that their use of ICU beds has not increased, Fauci said. So are the numbers of hospitalizations a real reflection of C-19 cases, or there is a difficulty deciphering between people coming into hospitals with COVID or because of COVID. The U.S., like the UK, has lifted most mitigation measures as COVID-19 infections have fallen. 2 weeks ago, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention changed how it measures COVID-19 impact communities. The new metric, which relies on hospitalizations and hospital capacity in addition to cases, did away with masking recommendations for most parts of the country. States and schools have followed suit, lifting masking requirements. I don't know if that's really the best thing to do at this time. If you guys, the trends that are being presented are not really giving a lot of support for easing anything right now at this time. Do you guys agree with me or do you disagree? That's a great point, Carla. If you guys agree with what Carla just said, type in a 1. If you disagree with what Carla said, type in a 2. Why didn't Fauci recommend that the government not let you vaccinated immigrants in? We have to be vaccinated to go anywhere. Yeah, including Canada. We have to be vaccinated to go everywhere, including Canada. So that's interesting. What do you guys think about that? How you guys feeling about that? That's I don't know. I see some more C19 videos coming. Without a doubt, opening up society and having people mingle indoors is clearly something that is a contributor, as well as overall waning immunity, which means we've really got to stay head up and keep our eye on the pattern here, Fauci said. So that's the reason why we're watching this very carefully. Okay, like I get it that you're watching it, but what's the plan? What's being done? Yeah. I mean, it's, this seems kind of, it's kind of, you got to ask these questions. Like, let's get some answers to some of these questions. Michael Osterholm, who directs the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota, told CNN it's like a weather alert. Right now, the skies are sunny and bright, and we hope they stay that way. But we could have some bad weather by evening. We just don't know. I don't understand how the skies are sunny and bright. If we're using sunny and bright as an allegory for everything is going good right now, from what I'm reading and seeing and hearing, it doesn't look like everything is going good right now. I mean, it doesn't seem that way. What will BA do in the United States? I mean, we know what BA2 is going to do in the United States. It's going to spread like a damn wildfire. And it's going to be inconvenient as hell. It's going to cause a lot of problems. That's what it's going to do. We all know this already. BA2 has been growing steadily in the U.S. last week. The CDC estimated it was causing about 12% of new COVID-19 cases here. Meanwhile, BA2 now accounts for more than 50% of cases in the UK and several other European countries. The tipping point seems to be right around 50%, Carrie Althoff, an epidemiologist at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, said. This is when we really need to start to see the variant flex its power in the population as far as showing its severity. Althoff said, although the UK may provide a glimpse of the future, there are key differences that will affect how BA2 plays out in the United States. In UK, 86% of eligible people are fully vaccinated and 69% are boosted, compared with 69% of those eligibly vaccinated and 50% boosted in the US, which means that in the United States, once this hits, it's probably going to spread a lot faster. So not only do we have these low vaccination numbers and all of these indicators that show that this is going to be kind of bad, we have a literal boatload of Europeans coming from this region to the United States. So that's nice, What we see happening in the UK is going to be perhaps a better story than what we should be expecting here. I agree. If you guys agree with this right here, type in a 1. If you disagree, type in a 2. I agree with that. It is a better story than what we're going to see here. We're going to have a hot mess here. The data shows the percentage of people who have been fully vaccinated in the state. Hover over or click on each state to see the percentage and use the blue bar to interact with the different ranges. The map is updated daily. All right. So in the Netherlands, it took about a month for BA2 to overpower BA1, she noted. If the same timeline occurs in the US, that will mean the variant is taking off, just as the immunity generated by winter's Omicron infections will be waning. So that means that it's probably going to go even faster than we expect. It's going to go even faster than we expect. I'm concerned about that, Althoff said, but we are in a similar situation last spring. But we were in a similar situation last spring where we really got hopeful that things were going to settle down, and we got a little bit of a summer, then we got walloped by Delta. It will be important for people to understand they may be able to take their masks off for a few weeks, Althoff said, but they might also need to go back to wearing them regularly if cases spike. We could see another wave of illness at our hospital, she said. Althoff will also be closely watching wastewater data over the next few weeks. See, this wastewater shit is a problem. Why is there so much COVID in the wastewater? Look, I want to show you guys this map real quick. Take a look at this. This is the wastewater map that I'm about to show y'all. If you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure that you guys smash that like button. Look, check this out right here. Look at Ohio. You see it? It looks to me like Ohio has like the biggest, it's the most densely concentrated. That's not good. It's not good. So now here it says wastewater surveillance is an incredible advancement in how we can monitor SARS-CoV-2 and what it's doing in the population without really needing any input from people, she said. Keeping our eye on wastewater surveillance is an important tool to understand where the virus is going and if it's increasing in terms of infection. Now, that's extremely interesting to me, because this is the first that we're hearing about these measurement methods using wastewater information. They never really used the wastewater information all like that before. They never really used the wastewater information before all like that. So it's interesting now to see them just kind of throw that around. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just kind of weird. Preparing for the next wave. All right, now this to me is probably about the most important section of this. Preparing for the next wave. Before we get into this, what do you guys plan on doing to prepare for the next wave? What do you guys plan on doing? How can we prepare and be prepared for the next wave? We still got to prepare for the economy. And remember, all of this is going to happen while the economy is going insane. So keep that in the back of your head. Okay. Protection against the next variant has to start with vaccination. It has to. According to this article, protection against the next wave has to start with vaccination. That's what they're saying here. We absolutely have to continue to find people who are unvaccinated and get them vaccinated, Althoff said. That sounds kind of scary. They might get kind of aggressive with that. Fauci agreed vaccination rates could be better in all age groups, but current numbers are especially bad for kids. Only about a third of kids ages 5 to 11 have been vaccinated, and only about half of kids ages 12 through 17. And that right there is a big problem, in my opinion, because kids spread things really easy. Kids probably are one of the highest contributors to the spread of things. So that's interesting. And also don't forget, not only are the kids not vaccinated, but the parents don't like the kids having masks. So that's a double whammy when it comes to the kids. Even though the youngest children, those under 5, can't yet be vaccinated, recent studies have shown young kids are less likely to catch C19 when they're surrounded by vaccinated adults, which is a triple whammy because we have lower vaccination rates. So what do you guys think is going to happen here? So the way you protect them is to surround the children to the extent possible with adults who are vaccinated and boosted so that you have somewhat of a veil of protection around them, Fauci said. It will also be important to continue to be flexible. The important thing in this massive experiment we're dropping all masks and restrictions is we have to stay diligent in terms of monitoring it and testing and being prepared to properly or to possibly reverse a lot of the relaxing of these restrictions, said Deborah Fuller, a microbiologist at the University of Washington. We can't let our guard down because the message that people get when they say we're lifting restrictions is the pandemic is over, and it's not, she said. I agree with what she said. I agree with what she said. So, ladies and gentlemen, players and pimps, we've been live for about 2 hours. I'm going to take a little break. If you guys haven't smashed that like button, make sure you guys hit that bell icon twice. Go over to Facebook and make sure you follow Blacklight Revelations, Reality Check Virtual Radio, Blacklight Revelations, C19 Report, and join the groups. All right. And I will be live again in about 20 minutes on Blacklight Revelations news, reviews, and reactions. All right. So if you're not subscribed over there, please make sure that you are. And I will catch you all on the next video. All right. Peace.